I was out in California on tour when the storm hit, and nobody thought that it could be as bad as it was. And it took my mom calling me and saying, "Hey, the news is talking about how the mudslides just absolutely wiped out Asheville." And I'm going, "How is this? How is this even possible that a storm could reach that far in?" Now, I mean, I know, Greg. I know you're a humble guy, and I've been a fan. I've been a fan of yours, way back when, being a Truck Series guy. And man, I have to say, man, it's really cool. It's really cool to see what you've been able to do. In helping those guys, flying in to help them, taking in supplies and impacting so many people's lives. So absolutely kudos to you, Greg. And I know you're not looking for any of that glory, but man, it's really cool to see that. I mean, that's a Hall of Fame thing right there. I don't know if anybody's doing it, but somebody should write a book about you for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. It's funny in people's, you know, people say, how long are you gonna, continue to help, or it's like none of us quit, right? Every time right now I'm out of town, but I go back and I get sucked back in because you feel like you can do something to help. And when we were flying on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, it was just like more. It was everything you could do to try and get things on the ground and help these people. And I'm the same way. It's like, how is this possible? Like, when was the last time a hurricane hit the mountains? It's unheard of. It hasn't happened. And so first responders don't know what to do. FEMA doesn't know what to do. It's just nobody was prepared for it, and nobody had the playbook on what do we do next, and how do we fix this situation. But they literally got 30 inches of rain.
Yeah, there was no playbook.
Well, right. And these steep mountains, you think about these V's where they come down to a V. Well, all that water goes straight to the bottom instantly. And the roads were underwater by 60 feet. So the waters in a lot of places was 40 to 60, even more feet deep over, the roadway. So it was like nothing anyone could you can't even picture it in your head what it looks like.
Well, you're talking about flooding in the mountains. I mean, how does that even, it doesn't make sense.
Right, exactly. And so as it started to get down to some of these lower areas, the devastation it brought was nuts. I mean, there's hundreds of trees, 3-foot around trees and stumps, 20 feet around, just mowing down anything in its path. 18-wheelers upside down in the river. I was flying the helicopter. I just saw the bottom of the tires. The entire truck is under the water. And I could just see the bottoms of the tires. I mean, propane tanks look like candy down the sides of the rivers and up on the banks and all over the place. There's some canyons you fly down for 5 miles. There's no resemblance of a road on either side. No road bed, no piece of asphalt, nothing. Like zero. Looks like the Grand Canyon.
Jeez. Well, and Greg,
definitely heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And you're seeing so much over these last few weeks, and I know it's a lot to process. How do you process what you're seeing? And I mean, you always hear about people that respond to these kind of scenes and these unique disasters and stuff, but like, do you have anybody checking in on you? Because I mean, you're seeing so much, and how are you processing, and how have you been able to process and decompartmentalize everything you've been seeing and trying to do over the last bit of time here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what kind of sucks you back in, and once you want to try and continue to help, because Like I started out to say earlier, is I don't feel like I did anything anybody else wouldn't have done in my particular situation. I had the resource, I had the time, and social media is good and bad. It created a buzz around the situation and brought a lot of other helicopters and machines out. But I saw a bunch of stuff I certainly don't want to see, and along the riverbanks and just all over the place. I will say one story: there were search and rescue and cadaver dogs looking, trying to find people, and I landed on the edge of what was left of this roadbed, and they had painted an X on the ground. I was delivering a Starlink, and it was one of my old team guys I know, friend of mine, and I gave him the Starlink, and we chatted for 20 seconds there, and then I took off and lifted off and left. And he texted me that next day. I landed next to huge pile of brush that was in the riverbank right there. He said they found someone alive the next day in that pile of brush, and that was day number 8. 8 days in to the aftermath, and there's stories like that make you feel good about being able to get the supplies in and the resources to the people that are looking for, people that maybe stranded in some of those areas still.
That's something. Greg, incredible efforts by your part and for helping people. Just a valiant effort, and can't even say thank you enough just for what you've done there, Greg. Just admirable stuff on your part.